Nigeria today is loud, restless, and alive. A nation of over 200 million people, still searching for leadership that truly changes things, not with promises, but with action. Its money carries faces of the past. Its airports echo with stories of hope and departure. But some names refuse to fade, no matter how many years pass. Most leaders spend decades in power and leave little behind. Some rule for years, yet never truly rule the moment they are given. But in 1975, one man stepped forward with no patience for excuses. A soldier. A disciplinarian. A leader who believed delay was the enemy of progress. He wore a beret, spoke with fire, and ruled with urgency. His favorite words would become legendary: immediate effect. In just 200 days, he shook Nigeria to its core. Half a century later, the country still mourns him. Who was the man behind the beret, and why did his short rule leave such a long shadow? Murtala Ramat Muhammed was born in 1938, in Kano. A city shaped by trade, tradition, and discipline. Long before power, he learned order in a structured world. At Yar'Adua College, Zaria, Nigeria trained its future elite. Here, young Murtala stood out, sharp, confident, and fiercely direct. Leadership, even then, came naturally to him. From northern Nigeria, he traveled to Sandhurst in Britain. There, the empire taught him war, command, and authority. Skills he would later turn against inherited systems. By the early 1960s, Murtala Muhammed was no longer just trained. He was tested. Blunt, fearless, impatient with weakness, he rose quickly through the ranks. Then came the Nigerian Civil War. A conflict that would define a generation, and permanently mark the men who fought it. As commander of the 2nd Infantry Division, Murtala led with aggression and urgency. To his troops, he was decisive. To his critics, reckless. But history is never clean. During the war, the Asaba massacre stained Nigeria's conscience. And Murtala's command remains part of that painful debate. He was not a saint. He was a product of war, power, and hard choices. Understanding Murtala Muhammed means facing both his strength and his shadows. By 1975, Nigeria was tired. The oil boom had brought money, but also drift. Promises slowed. Discipline faded. And the country waited. At that moment, Nigeria's leader was far from home. General Yakubu Gowon stood on the world stage. Unaware that history was moving without him. Power, they say, never sleeps. And on July 29, 1975, a window opened. A group of young colonels moved swiftly and silently. No gunfire. No chaos. Just coordination and resolve. By dawn, it was over. Nigeria had changed governments. Without a single shot fired. The question wasn't if power would change hands. It was who would carry it. Their choice was clear: Murtala Muhammed. Hours later, a new voice filled Nigerian radios. Direct. Unapologetic. A tone the nation had not heard in years. He called the old government anemic. Weak. Directionless. And he promised order. Not tomorrow, but now. General Murtala Muhammed did not ease into power or test the waters. He moved with urgency, conviction, and speed, believing that Nigeria's problems were too severe for hesitation or gradual reform. Within weeks, he launched one of the most radical actions in Nigerian history. Over 10,000 civil servants were dismissed, accused of corruption, laziness, and sabotaging the machinery of government. The purge sent shockwaves across the country. Some Nigerians celebrated a long-awaited reckoning. Others lived in fear. But no one was confused. The era of complacency inside government was over. Next, General Murtala turned to Nigeria's structure itself. 7 new states were created, increasing the total to 19, weakening old power blocks and bringing governance closer to ordinary citizens. This was not just administrative reform. It was political engineering. General Murtala believed decentralization would strengthen unity, reduce ethnic dominance, and create a more balanced federation able to survive its own diversity. Then came a decision few expected. Lagos, the coastal capital bursting with congestion and political tension, was no longer suitable to represent Nigeria's future or symbolize national fairness. General Murtala envisioned a new capital at Nigeria's geographic center. Abuja would belong to no tribe, no region, and no religion. A purpose-built city meant to serve as a true symbol of unity. On the global stage, General Murtala's confidence reached beyond Nigeria. He spoke with clarity and defiance, signaling that Africa was ready to define its destiny without foreign permission. Africa should no longer take orders from any country, however powerful. With those words, General Murtala Muhammed transformed Nigeria's foreign policy, and announced to the world that Africa had found its voice. Unlike many military rulers of his era, Murtala Muhammed rejected excess. No grand palaces. No long convoys. Power, to him, was not something to display, it was something to use. He often drove himself through Lagos traffic, without sirens or motorcades. Nigerians watched in disbelief as their head of state sat beside them, exposed, ordinary, and unmistakably human. That openness would prove fatal. On February 13, 1976, a faction of soldiers led by Lieutenant Colonel Dimka attempted a violent coup. In Ikoyi traffic, Murtala's car was ambushed. There were no armored doors. No escort vehicles. Just gunfire in the morning, and the sudden end of Nigeria's most urgent leader. Nigeria froze in shock. Streets fell silent. Radios carried disbelief. Millions mourned a leader they barely had time to know, but already feared losing more than they could measure. Power passed to his deputy, Olusegun Obasanjo. Instead of abandoning the vision, Obasanjo followed Murtala's roadmap, guiding Nigeria steadily towards civilian rule, just as Murtala intended. Murtala Muhammed ruled Nigeria for just 200 days. Yet decades later, his shadow still stretches across the nation, longer than many leaders who governed for years without consequence. Critics argue his sudden purges damaged the civil service. Fear replaced stability. Tenure felt fragile. Efficiency came at the price of trust, raising questions about whether urgency weakened institutions meant to endure. Supporters see it differently. They believe Nigeria needed shock therapy. A painful reset to confront corruption, laziness, and decay that gradual reform had long failed to correct. Perhaps both sides are right. Murtala's leadership reminds us that strong medicine can heal, or harm, depending on how deeply a nation understands itself. Over time, Murtala Muhammed became more than a man. He became an idea, discipline, courage, urgency. Memory polished his edges, while history insists we remember the full human being. Today, his face rests quietly on the 20 naira note. Passed from hand to hand, unnoticed by many, yet still woven into the daily life of the nation he once ruled. His name also greets the world at Nigeria's busiest gateway. Every arrival and departure passes beneath it, a silent reminder of ambition, loss, and the future he never lived to see. Murtala believed nations are shaped not only by leaders, but by citizens willing to demand accountability. His life asks a harder question: what do Nigerians do with the standards he set? The fortunes of Africa are in our hands to make or to mar. Those words remain unfinished business, echoing across generations, waiting for leaders and citizens brave enough to act on them.
If this story mattered, don't let it disappear. Like the video, subscribe, and help us preserve history. This is Griot Archive.